right, we're back. We're fortunate to have Ed Price, candidate for mayor in Ocean City, in the studio. How you doing, Ed?
Oh, very good, Bob. How are you?
Not too shabby. Let's start out this way. Tell us about Ed Price. Who's Ed Price?
Oh, Ed Price is a guy who grew up in Vineland, New Jersey, moved to Ocean City 35 years ago, and I own a computer business here in Linwood, New Jersey, and I've been very active in the community for a lot of years. I spent 10 years on the Ocean City Library Board of Trustees, and it was probably one of the most fun things I did in my life.
Really?
In the last 3 years, I was president, and during the time I was president, we did the major expansion and construction of the library and community center complex.
Where's that? Is that down by what streets?
Yeah, that's on. You're going to get me. How many hours I've spent there?
Yeah.
It's between Simpson and Haven Avenues, between 18th and 17th Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool spot down there.
Oh, it's great. We did the entire project was $15 million.
Uh-huh.
It came in on time and on budget. We built the senior center on one end.
You won't be good. You won't be good in government. On time and on budget.
There you go.
In government. Come on now.
I will tell you, and it's one of the cornerstones of my campaign. Is I use I say, concept, design, fund, and implement, and that's how we built that building. We first came up with a concept, and we vetted it through a lot of different people. We got people who didn't use the library and community center.
Uh-huh.
We got people who did. We got people who loved it. We got people who didn't like it, and that made for a better project. And that's why it's so successful today. It's constantly full, and everybody says they love it.
One of the things I noticed with your campaign, that FAST is a word that you use in your campaign, and I really like the
facts. Right, facts. It's
facts.
Stands for fairness, accountability, communication, transparency, and sensibility. And I think that's what government and government service is about.
It is.
And one of the biggest things in Ocean City that it seems as I've knocked on doors, and I've knocked on doors hundreds all over Ocean City.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I'm in the thousands now. So fairness. People have a feeling that there's really not a sense of fairness, that certain people get treated better than other people. And I believe that everybody has a right to the same opportunities from their government, and there shouldn't be any differences.
Yeah, it's true. I knocked on a lot of doors in my campaigns, and I know that. But it's funny because people will say, "Geez, how do you put up with all the stupid questions you get?" But the funny thing is, you don't really get questions, do you?
No, you don't get a lot of questions. You get people telling you things.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, they just want to let you know what they're feeling more so than a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I wish I got more, but you learn so much by walking blocks and knocking on doors. And I mean, you learn about apartments that you didn't even know were there.
Uh-huh.
When there's a 3-story walk up, and also back apartments that open off an alley, and all sorts of, and then also homes that somebody invites you into their home, and you look out over this beautiful vista of the bay or the ocean, and it's unbelievable. It's a lot of fun.
It's a great town.
It is a phenomenal town.
A lot of misspent youth in that town for me.
I like it. Well, it's just a great family town, and I think that me being mayor would make it better.
Okay. How'd the first debate go?
Well, the first debate was not a debate.
Oh.
The first debate was me answering questions for an hour and 15 minutes because the mayor didn't show up.
Oh, about that.
So that was the first one. It was a little trying because there were two people asking me questions. So the minute I got finished the first question, I would turn and the guy would fire another question at me. And it was a little grueling, but it was fun.
Uh-huh.
And the second debate, they changed the format, so it really wasn't much of a debate. It was more, I gave a speech, and then the mayor gave a speech, and then we kind of walked into the audience and mixed with people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was not a debate. Now, last evening, we did have a debate at the Ocean City High School,
uh-huh.
and it went well. I was pleased. I don't believe in a lot of angst back and forth. I've really tried to run a very positive campaign. I'm a little distressed right now, and I come to you today as I come to you. I have an issue that's I find really serious, and I'm quite upset about it, and that's an illegal campaign contribution that was given to Mayor Gillian's campaign.
Really?
Yes, by his dad on April the 22nd, his father, who is retired and lives in Florida, gave a $10,000 contribution, which is in excess of what you're allowed to give in the state of New Jersey.
$2,600.
Correct.
Is it, right?
Correct. Yeah, $2,600 from any individual, and he gave $10,000, and he gave it on the 22nd. Now, if you get a campaign contribution that's incorrect, you have 48 hours to return it. But
Right.
Since he got it on the 22nd of May and then never returned it because
22nd of April.
Right, 22nd of April. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right, and he reported it on his elect report on May the 2nd.
It should have been completed by then.
Right.
Money should have been returned, and that was it.
Well,
right?
and I've called elect, and elect has acknowledged that there is a problem and that it is in not a valid contribution, but because it's in the middle of a campaign, they'll wait till the election's over.
I see.
So he gets to use the money, even though it's illegally obtained,
Yeah.
and then we'll deal with it after the election.
That's that doesn't sound right to me.
It doesn't sound right to me either, but it certainly doesn't jive with my sense of fairness and the first thing in my campaign platform. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit upset about it, but hey, you have to move forward, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Well, and that's the press release that you just handed me, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Mayor Gillian's campaign discloses contribution in violation of state law. So.
Right.
There is. I know that if they find people for this kind of stuff, it happens long after the election.
Right.
And this is probably something that had you not gotten that report like you did, you would have never known.
That's right. And it's, it is subject to a $7,500 fine, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
There's, it's clearly listed, and it's on the campaign finance report. And there's actually a website that if anybody had any questions, they could go to www.elec.state.nj.us. And all of the regulations are right there on the website. So it's unfortunate for me because, boy, I'd love to have an extra $10,000. I'd do a whole lot more
Sure.
radio advertising than I'm able to do.
We'd like that also. We'd like that a whole lot. Well, there's, in addition to that, there's a lot of expenses. I think I read a report the other day that talked about some of the things that you spent money on. You haven't spent a whole lot of money at this point, have you?
I've spent, I don't even actually have the numbers, but, I had to buy signs was $1,600.
Yeah.
And what other expenses? Oh, I've had some expenses for mailings.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've done my mailings, here locally, and I try as much as I can to keep it local if I can.
Yeah.
That's not always possible, but really the mailings and the signs, and that's probably most of my expenses at this point.
Yeah, I think that's all it said. I had it somewhere because I talked about the election in Ocean City a couple of days ago, and I talked about you and Mayor Gillian and also the other 5 people that are running for 3 open seats.
Right.
Who are the incumbents? Who are the incumbents right now?
The incumbents are Mike Allegretto,
Right.
Keith Hartzell, and just Mike Allegretto and Keith Hartzell, the 2 that are running.
Right.
And then there are 3 non-incumbents also.
Okay. So there was a 3rd candidate who decided not to run.
That's right, Scott Ping.
Scott Ping.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
unfortunate. I wish he had run, but he
Yeah.
decided to give it a pass this time.
That's been a very quiet election also, too, hasn't it?
It seems that it has been a quiet election, but I'm not sure exactly what that means. And I think a lot of times people want more of a sense of angst or of candidates coming at each other.
Yeah.
I prefer for people to understand my vision of where I want to go with Ocean City and not going back at maybe missteps of of the current mayor. I just want to do things different and better.
Yeah.
I hate to always go back to some of the missteps of painting curbs yellow and
Yeah.
ripping down the annex when city council didn't even know it and everybody was screaming around town and those sorts of things. I love Ocean City and I love the reputation of Ocean City being a clean, safe family town, and I want to keep it that way and make it better.
I like that attitude. Let me tell you how I can do things better, not how the last guy did a lousy job.
Right, and
Makes
that's
good sense.
Yeah, that's what I've tried to do. I'm I'm really upset about this campaign contribution, and it's why I bring it up, because it's in the middle of the election cycle. I mean, the election's 5 days away.
All right, we're with Ed Price. He's candidate for mayor in Ocean City, New Jersey. The election is the 13th of May, which is this Tuesday coming up. It's a nonpartisan election, so there's no Republicans or Democrats running. There's just human beings that are running for positions, which is probably a pretty cool way to put it. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Ed Price about his vision for Ocean City. So right now we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
News Talk 1400, WOND.
Now back to Bob Burns in your afternoon on News Talk 1400 WOND.
All right, we're back. I just have a little housekeeping to catch up with here. 1 Hour Heating and Air promises prompt and professional service to all their customers, always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Call them today at 609-641-7777. All right, we're with Ed Price. He's candidate for mayor in Ocean City, New Jersey, not Egg Harbor Township. That's where I live. He lives in Ocean City, New Jersey, and we're talking about. Let's talk about your vision for the city. I'm reading here. You have a bunch of thoughts about your vision for the city and things that you would like to fix and things that you'd like to take care of. And what's on your agenda, Ed?
Bob, I sure do. My agenda, probably the top thing, is the roads in Ocean City are really bad.
Oh, no.
But it's a quick rundown: roads, drainage, lagoons, beaches, and the look of Ocean City. As you come in, I want Ocean City to look like you're driving into Disney World. Everybody knows when they go in and they pay that parking fee in Disney World, although there's no parking fee to get into Ocean City. But
right. Not yet.
That feeling of, wow, I'm here. And we've gotten a lot of it back with the 9th Street Bridge. When you come over the 9th Street Bridge, it looks awful nice.
That's a hell of a sight, isn't it?
Boy, isn't it great?
You come over that bridge, and it's like, many times I've been in Ocean City, and every time I drove over, I got to remember, I have to drive the car. I just can't look.
Yeah, but I want to
see all the way to the ocean.
All the way over to the ocean. And I want to see a nice sign that says America's Greatest Family Resort.
Yeah.
So when you look out at that ocean, you see that sign too, and you say, wow, I'm here.
One of I did a report. I read a report a couple of weeks ago of the top 5 beaches in the country, and Ocean City was one of the top 5.
And Ocean City always rates top there, but we unfortunately with the effects of Hurricane Sandy, but also just non-maintenance of the beaches for a long period of time in the south end of Ocean City, we really have some serious beach erosion problems.
Really?
And we do have a project coming in from the Army Corps of Engineers that will be starting in the fall. And it's sort of unfortunate because that project, I think, could have started much earlier. If the city government had worked a little bit harder and faster at talking to the Army Corps, I think we could have gotten it sooner. And that's, that's really the South End, and a lot of people in the South End, and I live toward the South End, they feel sometimes that they're not all included because you forget. A lot of people drive over that 9th Street Bridge and go to the beach, at 9th Street or 10th or 11th. There's beautiful beaches down at 57th and 55th Street and all along Ocean City.
That was always my favorite places to go, down 34th, down in that area.
Yeah.
The beaches are nice and wide, and I used to surf after 6.
There you go. Well, the beaches aren't as wide nowadays, but we're working on that. So, and that's something that I find, will be a challenge to be sure that we not just get them rebuilt, but maintain them. And that's one of the big issues with regard to one of our other big things, and that's lagoons. Most of the boats are sitting on mud in the lagoons these days.
Really?
When you have some of the houses that are there, in Ocean City along those lagoons, it's a travesty that such a beautiful resource as the lagoons around Ocean City are not properly dredged and on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
So that's something that I want to work very hard, and I think we can have a lot better plan to get those complete.
Well, why aren't the lagoons being dredged?
Well, for a number of reasons. One is simply focus by the city government. You need to focus on them, but it seems that Ocean City historically has only focused on them when they become a problem instead of doing routine maintenance for them. And the challenge is always to find a dredge spoil site, a place to put the material that you dredge. And we do now We've been working on a couple of different ones. I really want to work hard to have one that can be accessed by truck, so that